Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom surrounded by forests and mountains, there lived a beautiful queen who longed for a child. One winter's day, as she sat by the window sewing, she pricked her finger, and 3 drops of blood fell onto the snow. Looking at the red on the white snow, she whispered, "I wish for a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony." And not long after, the queen gave birth to a daughter just as she had wished and named her Snow White. But joy turned into sorrow when the queen died shortly after. The king remarried, and the new queen was beautiful, but cruel and full of envy. She owned a magical mirror, and every day she would ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" And every day the mirror replied, "You are my queen," until one day the mirror gave a different answer. "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Furious and jealous, the queen ordered a huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. But when the huntsman raised his knife, Snow White pleaded for her life. Her innocence touched his heart, and he let her go, telling her to run far and never return. He brought the queen a false heart to deceive her. Snow White wandered alone, afraid and cold, until she found a tiny cottage hidden among the trees. Inside, everything was small and charming: 7 tiny chairs, 7 plates, and 7 little beds. Exhausted, she fell asleep across the beds. When the sun set, the owners of the cottage returned 7 dwarfs, kind-hearted and curious. They were surprised to find a girl asleep in their home. When she awoke, she told them her story, and they decided to protect her. Snow White stayed with them, cooking, cleaning, and laughing. She was finally happy and safe. But far away in her castle, the evil queen asked her mirror once again, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" To her horror, it replied, "Snow White, who lives with the 7 dwarfs, is still the fairest of them all." Rage boiled in the queen's heart. She vowed to destroy Snow White herself. Using dark magic, she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and went to the dwarf's cottage. Her first attempt was with a tight corset, which nearly suffocated Snow White. But the dwarfs arrived in time and saved her. The second time, the queen gave her a poison comb, which made her collapse, but again the dwarfs rescued her. The third time, the queen crafted a poisoned apple red, shiny, and deadly. Disguised as a kind old lady, she offered the apple to Snow White. Tempted by its beauty and unaware of the danger, Snow White took a bite and fell to the ground lifeless. When the dwarfs returned, they were heartbroken. They couldn't bury her, for she looked as if she were only sleeping. So they built a glass coffin and placed her in it on a hill, with flowers all around. Time passed. One day, a young prince riding through the forest saw the beautiful girl in the coffin. Moved by her beauty and the story told by the dwarfs, he kissed her gently. Miraculously, the poisoned apple dislodged from her throat and Snow White opened her eyes. The dwarfs rejoiced, and the prince asked Snow White to come with him to his kingdom. She agreed, and a grand wedding was held. The wicked queen, still obsessed, asked her mirror again, and when it told her that the new queen was the fairest of all, she went to the palace, only to realize it was Snow White. As punishment for her evil, the queen was banished forever. Snow White and the prince ruled with kindness and love, and the dwarfs were honored guests in the royal court. And so Snow White lived happily ever after, her courage, kindness, and purity shining brighter than any magic in the land.